Hey everyone, and thanks for joining us on our Tuesday night product training, you could say. Tonight, we're going to talk about something that's pretty dear to us, I suppose, and it's about gut health, things that we've been learning over the years. I'm doing it actually with my partner in crime, Christy. You'll hear from her later on. However, I just want to know, and I just want you guys to put it in the chats. When you think about gut health, what comes to your mind? Okay, pop it in the chats because hopefully we sort of blow your minds tonight because there's so much that happens just from our gut. And so for me, when I first thought about gut health, I just thought, maybe bloating, maybe my digestion, what I eat, sore tummy, going to the toilet, right? Those are the things that I thought of. But it's so much more than that. Our gut influences our energy. I'm just going to share my screen. Our energy, our immune system, our mood. It influences our skin. It influences our hormone, our metabolism, our weight. It even helps with our sleep and our brain health. Okay. And so there's so many more things, but I'm no doctor. I've just been learning about gut health over the last few years. And when I started on a product that we are going to share later on, it's called Ubiome. So many different things happened, and this is just my results. So the reason I started was because I was very uncomfortable. I had a sore tummy. Every time I ate food, my tummy would be sore. And, I tried to cut food out, but I'm not that person. I want to eat everything. My energy was low. Those were the two main things. Started on this drink and within a few days, my energy shifted, my mood shifted, and I was like, "Oh, what's happening here?" Anyway, 15 days went on, and I was like, "Oh, maybe it's a placebo effect." So I stopped this drink, and and then my sore tummy came back, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, my sore tummy! I haven't had that for 15 days," and that was probably one of the, I don't know, the best things about the whole experience was my sore tummy didn't hurt after I ate foods. And so I went and tested it. I started back on the drink, went to McDonald's, got my thick shake, and I didn't have a sore tummy. And I'm like, oh my God, I can keep drinking these thick shakes because I stopped drinking them because my tummy was sore. I'm not that person. I don't go to Macca's every afternoon. But it was just one thing that really stood out to me that I couldn't drink anymore because my sore tummy. Um, Anyway, so many different things happened, and I'll share more. I know my sleep got better. Going to the toilet, like that's something that I didn't get until again I stopped taking this drink because going to the toilet was really easy. Then I stopped and I was like, oh my gosh, I remember how I used to be. And so going to the toilet has made things so much easier, but it's the bloating after the food, the clothes that don't fit, the unbuckling of your pants. I don't know, anyone else, right? Does anyone else have to sit there and unbuckle their pants sometimes after they eat food because you're just like, oh my God, bloated? That was me. That was me. And so I was so uncomfortable. And so they are my results there. Down below, but we're going to dive in because there are so many things that you can do to help your gut health. And we're just going to share a few things that we've learned over the last few years. And so, what is the gut? All right. So, the gut, and it stems from your gut microbiome, which you may have heard. And so, what we want to do is we want to think of it as this little ecosystem living inside your digestive system. It's made up of trillions of microorganisms, including bacteria, fungi, and microbes. And the thing is that everyone's gut microbiome is different. Okay, just like our fingerprint. And these microbiome or microorganisms play an important role in things like digestion and nutrient processing, and they interact with our immune system and our gut-brain connection. And so the important thing is that this ecosystem can be influenced by the way we live, and that's why it's all different. Things like our diet, sleep, stress, illnesses, antibiotics can all affect the gut microbiome. And so when we talk about gut health, we're really talking about looking after this incredible ecosystem inside us and creating an environment where beneficial microorganisms can thrive. And so it's not just about our stomach, it's about our whole body and our whole overall well-being. And so what does our gut actually do? It helps absorb nutrients. And so you can eat the healthiest food in the world, but if your gut isn't healthy, you won't absorb nutrients properly. Your gut helps your body absorb the vitamins, the minerals, the proteins, the iron, the healthy fats, plant nutrients. Okay. Healthy gut equals better nutrition. It feeds your brain. So have you ever felt like brain fog, low motivation, anxious, stressed, poor concentration? Your gut and brain are constantly talking to each other. Scientists, you've probably heard of it, they call this the gut-brain axis. That's where this comes from. And in fact, around 90% of your serotonin, your feel-good chemical, is produced in the gut. And I always say that this is my happy drink because it actually makes me feel happy. We're going to go into it further, but a healthy gut it means better mood, better focus, better sleep, better mental clarity. Number 3, it supports your immune system. So around 70% of your immune system is located in your gut. A healthy gut helps your body fight infections, reduce inflammation, improve resilience, support recovery, and an unhealthy gut can make you more vulnerable to illnesses. Okay, it controls inflammation, and this is what I've learned all the time. Chronic inflammation is linked with many modern diseases, including heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, weight gain, some cancers, but healthy gut bacteria produce compounds called short-chain fatty acids, which help reduce inflammation throughout the body. Like that was something that I was like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. It helps balance our hormones. And for us women, I feel like this is so, so important. It helps regulate hormones like estrogen, thyroid hormones, cortisol. And for me, just personally, the drink and then looking after my gut, I no longer get period pain. And so for those men that are listening to this, I'm sorry, but I'm going to go into this because it's such a huge, people don't talk about it enough. And for me, like I would go 3 days with period pain, you know, the sore legs, the bloating, the muscles before I even get my period. And then I would have 3 or 4 days after it comes, which being just so sore, needing to take Nurofen all the time, just not wanting to do anything, feeling like, oh my God, like you just want to just pass out and zone out from the whole day. You don't want to talk to anybody because sometimes you get angry and you get moody, right? All that happens. However, on this drink, I don't get that. I don't get any pain. And the thing is that when our period starts and people are having really great symptoms with menopause as well, is that things change inside, okay, and you start to contract more. And if you've got a lot of inflammation in your gut, you get more pain. I'll just leave that there. It affects your skin. Okay, people often focus on creams, but beautiful skin starts from within. Okay, and so many concerns are linked with gut health, acne, eczema, psoriasis, premature aging, healthy gut, healthier skin. And so some signs that you might need some love. And the thing is, you don't need it's extensive testing to know your gut could be struggling. Just some common signs, include bloating, gas, reflux, constipation, diarrhea, IBS, food sensitivities, brain fog, low energy, poor sleep, skin problems, frequent illness. Who here has something there on that list? I think looking at all this, I probably had them all in a way. And so lots of things damage the gut though. And unfortunately, we can control as much as we can control. But some of the biggest gut killers are high processed foods, my McDonald's, right? Too much sugar, artificial sweeteners, soft drinks, too much alcohol, all right? Everything in moderation. Stress, chronic stress can kill, is a gut killer. Poor sleep. And a lot of people don't know how important sleep is. Sleep is so important. That's where your body recharges. And the thing is, you have to get in that deep sleep for your body to heal. But most people actually can't get into that deep sleep anymore. Repeated antibiotics, low fiber intake. So these are just a few things that, well, the biggest gut killers. There's still more. And so how can we build a healthier gut? Lots of things that we can do. Eat more plants. Okay, so aiming for a variety of vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, herbs, spices. The more variety you eat, the more diverse your gut bacteria become. Eating more fiber. So fiber is food for your good bacteria. You've got good and you've got bad bacteria. The best thing is that we want a balanced lot of bacteria in there. And so good sources include oats, beans, lentils, vegetables, fruits, seeds. Including fermented foods. So these could be Greek yogurt, sauerkraut, kimchi, kombucha. And did you know moving your body isn't just good for your muscles, it's actually also good for your gut microbiome. Even a 30-minute walk each day. And I was listening to something the other day, and they were saying the people with the best gut health are the people that move a lot, not your elite athletes, because that can actually be too much movement for your body, but people that move a lot. And so reducing stress also can help the gut. Practicing walking, deep breathing, meditation, good sleep can all support the gut. And definitely staying hydrated. Okay, so water helps that digestion, it helps that bowel movement and supports your entire digestive system. And there's something else that we've added recently that we are going to go into and chat about more is a product that we have called New Biome. And it's just a sachet that you pour in a drink, and you have it every single day. And I'm going to hand it over to Critty, and she's going to talk about it more.
Thanks, Ash. And yeah, it's all good and well knowing that you can improve, and you definitely can do all these things to help your gut microbiome. But supplementation just sometimes fills that gap. It fills the gap a little bit faster. And Ash, can you just are you able to take this off the screen and put me on for a second, then put it back on? Because I just want to share the way that I explain it. There's a lot of scientific terms around gut health and all that sort of stuff. But the way I explain it and how our gut is, and I'm very, very simple, guys, is we've got our stomach, but we've got this gut lining in our stomach, and the thin linings in our stomachs, and on one side we're supposed to have good bacteria, and on the other side we're supposed to have the bad bacteria. But what happens? Our daily life happens, like Ash said, all these things happen in our life, and what that does is that causes this lining to get thinner and thinner, and the bad bacteria jump over to the good bacteria, and that's where it starts to upset our lives, because we're not doing the good things, we're doing the bad things, that the bacteria just starts to grow in the good bacteria section. But what you want to do is you want to boost that good bacteria and all those good microorganisms in your body. Okay. To keep it even, and what it's going to do is it's going to thicken that gut lining, and so you start to feel better. And that's why people, when they jump on our drink, they do start to feel better. And I'm going to talk about the New Biome and go into quite a bit of detail about it. And I guess my story is I've got three stories with it. Oh, so come here, honey. I've got three stories with mine. And so leading on to Ash's, the period and all that, I actually was diagnosed with endometriosis when I had my kids, and I had surgery. The drink wasn't around then. After surgery, the pain didn't ease. I was still in so much pain. It's something that you just live with. They don't have a cure for endometriosis. However, I started on this drink, and I realized within a month I was pain free. And so what happened? I stayed on it, but I was like, you know what? I thought gut health was a hype. I did not really lean into it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop this drink. And what happened was my pain came back. So I know now when I haven't had the drink and how much pain I get into that. It's helped my toilet runs, my sleeping. My second story is when I had this little girl, Pippa. She had a really itchy scalp, and she just couldn't stop itching. I'd try all these creams. I gave her good supplementation, but her scalp she just kept itching it. And I was like, I didn't get it. And what happened to me was my hair got really oily. It was really funny. It happened after her. So I was just at the hairdresser's once and I asked the lady, I said, look, what can I do for my hair? It's really oily. Yeah, just really oily. I expected her to sell me some oil shampoo sort of stuff, but she's like, you know what, honey, you've got to look at your microbiome. Every stage in your life, your body changes. So what? Because I never had oily hair, my diet was the same as what it was before. She said, you've got to change your diet. You're now at another stage in your life that you need to change with your body. You can't do the same things you were doing when you were 20 now that you're 30. You know, when you turn 40, you've got to change again because your body keeps changing. She's like, you've got to look at your microbiome in your gut. And then the conversation went on, and then I asked about Pippa and her scalp, and she's like, look at her microbiome in her gut. Anyway, 2 months later, our drink came out. Now, we don't make medical claims. It is not tested on children. However, I give my kids a sip and I fill the rest up with water. Daily, they take a sip of mine. And since her doing that, she hasn't had an itchy scalp and my oily hair has gone. So that was 2 months after. The third story was kindy. The whole kindy went down with gastro. I mean, people were off for 5 days. Everyone was gone. And I had the teacher comment that Pippa was the only person, or my kids were the only people who didn't get gastro. Now I'm saying that's our gut lining. We're keeping the good bacteria and the bad bacteria separate with this drink. And I was just like, we haven't, okay, touch wood. It's been however long this drink's been out, 3 years. We haven't had gastro. And we did get gastro before this drink once. Ugh, you don't want it. But gastro is where the bad bacteria gets a good bacteria and it upsets your stomach. And so we take this on holidays. We take it out on the boat. We take this drink everywhere, especially if we know we're not going to eat right. Anyway, okay, moving on. They're just some little stories. There's so many things that it has improved, but yeah, you just want to think about your garden. You know, your belly is a garden, and you want to make it thrive. You know, you don't just plant something and walk away. You need to feed it, nourish it. You know, create that right environment for it to grow. And so there's two main things that I want to talk about with our gut drink is the prebiotics and postbiotics. Now, prebiotics, they feed the good stuff. And so just like hang on, and so yeah, prebiotics, you know, if you have a great diet, your belly's going to be full of prebiotics. So they're the vegetables that you're eating, the grains, the legumes, the nuts, the seeds, and they come from different fibers. Okay, so they're really good beneficial for your microorganisms in your gut. So prebiotics, they are feeding the good bacteria that are already in your gut. So we want more of them. Postbiotics. Now, postbiotics, you probably only started hearing about it a couple of years ago, and you've got to probably hear about it a lot in the future, I reckon. But one of the reasons that these are so interesting is that they are incredibly stable substance. So they allow us to deliver some of the benefits associated with microorganisms without having the same stability considerations that come with life probiotics. So what that actually means is like their beneficial substance and components associated with microorganisms, things like cell components or substances produced by microorganisms without having the microorganisms themselves needing to be alive. So, you know, they can go down into your body. Okay, this is layman's terms again. These postbiotics can go down into your body and they can come in alive. But, you know, we have an acidic stomach sometimes. There's things happening that the microorganisms may die. But what happens with the postbiotics, even if they die, they still deliver the same benefits as what they were when they are alive. And so it can be a little bit confusing when you hear about it, but I hope that layman's terms kind of yeah helped out with that. A lot of research done about it. And so it's really good that they this new biome, they bring both together. And so our ingredients, there's, you know, 4 key ingredients that I want to explain on the next slide. And so I'm not going to say these words, you guys can read them, but these are clinically proven ingredients. XOS, really good for the beneficial bacteria in the gut, heat treated, the BPL1, and this is a postbiotic. This is what I was talking about before, about, you know, coming in alive, and it may stay alive till it reaches your downstairs area, or it may die, but it's still going to provide that same beneficial component. Healthy source of caffeine. Now, I find this caffeine source just amazing. It's only 50 milligrams of caffeine. And I find it's not like a coffee caffeine. It's not like a V caffeine. It doesn't just give you the hit and then let you suffer all day. I feel like it's a really good hit of caffeine that keeps you stable all day long. And the pomegranate extract, which is a really good antioxidant, which our body loves antioxidants. And so there's a study that Nu Skin actually did, which they did 50, I think it was 50 healthy men or women who took a study. So when Nu Skin decide to bring out a product, they don't just whack ingredients together. They don't, you know, just say, oh, all these ingredients work well together. They literally test them individually and they test them together to make sure nothing's clashing, that they all working well together. So they commissioned a clinical study of 50 healthy men and women who took either Nu Biome or a placebo daily for 4 weeks. Participants had their waist circumference measured as a marker of bloating. Bloating. Yes, honey. Sorry, my daughter. Participants had their waist circumference measured as a marker of bloating before and after eating a challenge meal, which was pizza, at the start and the end of the study. Additionally, participants were asked questions about their abdominal bloating and the discomfort during the study. In the study, the participants that took Nu Biome, 100% experienced a significant reduction in waist circumference, which was an average of 2.1% of bloating in just 1 use after the baseline challenge meal was provided. And then 93% experienced a continued significant reduction of an average of 5.5 centimeters. I mean, I did. That was one of my biggest things, is I lost my fake pregnant belly, my bloating, an average of 5.5 centimeters of bloating after the 4 weeks. So our clinical studies are in such a short time that people are getting results really quickly with it. They're feeling good. They have more energy. They're losing their bloating. They're just feeling great. Now, however, the individuals in the placebo group had a completely opposite effect. You know, they did not lose the waist circumference. If anything, they gained circumference in their weight. And so on the next slide, these are the studies. 86% of subjects said that Nu Biome helped ease the bloating. 75% said they calmed quickly, and 82% reached a reduction in bloating, and 68% experienced improvements in digestive health. Now, again, these are all clinical studies that is done by the company. And on the next slide, they took photos of people. So this is the people, one of the persons that was on the Nu Biome, and you can see the reduction in the bloating. Whereas the next slide was, I'd hate to be in the placebo group. You can see that there's a little bit of an increase in their bloating, or in their stomach. And so, you know, this Nu Biome, it really does work with whatever we eat. I think that's the biggest thing, is we're getting, and again, we don't make medical claims, right? But I've had customers come back and say, oh my God, my reflux is gone. I've been on 15 years of medication for reflux and I haven't got any reflux anymore. Or, you know, people coming and saying, you know, they've gotten out of bed And they don't even, don't need to keep snoozing the alarm. They're just getting up now. Shoni suffered with constipation, and going to the toilet was normal every 5 to 7 days for her. Um, and and yeah, she got reduced bloating. You could see she looked a little bit pregnant there, but she's not. That's what I call it. But it was just a bloat. It was uncomfortable for her, and so, her sleep improved, her morning improved, her energy improved, her yes, honey, bloating and digestion improved. Megan was another lovely lady that we've been able to help, and 4 kilograms in 6 weeks she's lost, and being on it now and just having a look at the difference in her body shape. The longer she's been on it, Megan looks absolutely amazing now. It'll be about 1.5, 2 years later. She looks incredible. But she's just supporting her body from within, adding that little bit of supplementation along the journey. And the thing is, guys, I was looking at the costs of it today. It's something that I won't stop. It costs, if you get this monthly, it costs less than $4.50 a month. A day. Whereas people are buying coffees for over $8 now. Like, coffees are so expensive. I used to have 3 coffees a day. Now I have one because I enjoy a coffee. But I used to have 3 coffees a day, feeling like I had to survive. I was in survival mum mode, and I just felt like coffee, I needed that caffeine hit. But now with the new biome, I don't need a coffee. I just feel great. And it was funny, my husband at that time of the month, I still get a bit crazy, but I'm happy crazy, right? But my husband's like, "Have you had your drink today?" And I was like, "Oh no." Or I'll be feeling a little bit stressed. I'm like, I need to have my drink. And so it just really, really does calm my body. And so, um, yeah, and so hopefully this has given you a little bit of guidance on gut health, how you can improve. This is a really cool experiment done by the company. Just have a watch of this. And so it's just showing you what you put into your body, right? And what the new biome's going to do. And yeah, see the difference. And so, Ash, I'll hand it back over to you.
And so, yeah, thank you so much to everyone for jumping on. If anyone has any questions and you want to unmute yourself and ask anything of anything, if anyone has any testimonials and you've been using this drink, we would love to hear from you guys also. But other than that, thank you everyone for listening, and please get back to the person that shared this video with you and they can help you with your gut health.